Good Monday morning and welcome to 22 Connect for today. Today I want to talk about empty vessels, how to refill your vessel, setting healthy boundaries, and also how to give honest answers. So there is a saying that I cannot give to somebody else what I do not have for myself. And what is meant by that is that I need to take good care of myself before I can take good care or offer care or assistance to somebody else. So how I used to do this is that taking good care of myself was much lower on the list. If I cared about somebody or if I loved somebody, then if they needed me, that was going to take priority over me taking care of myself. An astounding example of that, and when I finally kind of made the connection, was when I found myself taking vacation to go pick somebody up from an outpatient procedure and take the day off to take care of them, even though they didn't necessarily need it. And I realized that I was willing to take vacation for them, for their health, but not for my own. And it was at that moment that I said, okay, I'll halt. I'm going to go ahead and make my annual doctor's exam, my dental exam, all of that kind of stuff. And as it turned out, I had let that stuff go for so long that my dentist had to bring me in as a new patient. So my ability to take care of myself was a little skewed, where I ranked on my priority list. So what I've learned is that I need to figure out, what do I need for a minimum for myself for a day, or to make sure that I have enough for myself. And then if, what do I need to do to get to that point where I have enough for myself? And then when I have more and I have more to give, how do I give honest answers to people who are asking for that reserve, or how do I offer it, even if they're not asking for it? So what I want to do is kind of give you an example, a visual example, because I'm such a visual person. So say this is the entire possibility of how much you could have in your reserve. And you know that in a day you go through, and for those of you who like to hydrate, let's say that's 8 cups of water. You need a minimum of, I don't know if you can see it, where that line is. That is the minimum that you need in order for you to be taking good care of yourself. So you wake up in the morning and you eat a good breakfast and you slept pretty well. Maybe you didn't sleep that well. So you're running on a little bit of a lack there, but later on that day, you take a nap or you take a long nap. So then you realize, I'm feeling like I'm a little overwhelmed and all this kind of stuff. So you take 30 minutes of quiet time for yourself and you just kind of recharge. So now you have reached, there's the line right there. So now you have a little reserve. You've got a little reserve. So this is awesome. That means you can share of yourself with other people. So how do I make those decisions? Well, if somebody asks me for help, I need to ask myself, can I do that for fun and for free? And what that means is an unqualified yes. That means I have no expectations. I'm not motivated by anything such as I want you to like me more and that's the only reason I'm saying yes. Or I expect something in return and that's why I'm saying yes. Or I'm doing this out of guilt or obligation. Those are not reasons I say yes. I say yes because I genuinely want to do this. I say no if my motivation isn't clear, or if I know that that's going to cause resentment in that relationship. If I know that I'm doing something and it's out of guilt or obligation, or it's going to interfere to the point where it's going to negatively affect that relationship, then I personally need to be honest about that and say, I'm sorry, but that's not going to work for me. Now, there are times where it's a maybe, and that means I need to gather more information. And if it's a maybe, then I go back to, I'll tell the person, hey, listen, I can't commit to that right now, but if you give me 3 days, a week, whatever, I'll get back to you. And sometimes that works. Sometimes the person is like, well, I need an answer right now. And if my initial thing is I need more information and you need an answer right now, that answer is no. I don't have enough information to make this decision, and know that I can do it for fun and for free. So that is kind of how I do. I decide who I am going to give my reserve to and who I'm going to share it with. And it makes my relationships a lot cleaner. So a tool that I use is I have a whole list of things that I need to do on a daily basis to replenish myself, including rest, including fun, go to an art museum, maybe have a road trip weekend or something like that where I just go exploring somewhere. But I know the things that I enjoy. I know the things that replenish me. And I need to make those as much of a priority, if not more, than I do taking care of the people around me. Now, here's a caveat to that. If you have children, obviously the children need to be taken care of. But I think that's another thing too, where you need to prioritize. And if you're frazzled, absolutely, the babies need to be fed, or they need to be clothed and, bathed and all of those basic elemental things. But there may be some things that you're placing on a very high priority over some basic needs that you might need to be taken care of. And it wouldn't be a bad thing, if I'm in that situation, it's not a bad thing for me to sit down and go, hey, listen, how urgent is this? And my definition of urgent is, will somebody die, or, now or in the imminent future if I don't do this? And if it's not truly urgent, then maybe I have a little time to sit and think about it and evaluate it. The other thing too is sometimes I know that maybe I have a partner, or I have a friend, or I have a parent or a relative, or even a big project at work, and it's going to take a lot more out of me. And in that case, what I do is I scale back those things that I know take energy from me, and maybe I'll add some more things if possible, or shuffle some things around so that I have, for me, a lot of things that are important are like meditation, quiet time, exercise, all of that. And I'm very fortunate that I have the ability to do that. But with whatever you have the ability to work with, that is a good thing for me, is to figure out how to prioritize. What do I need to do to take good care of myself? If I do have reserve, how am I going to choose to share that with others? And if I know I'm going to be taxed to make those opportunities for me to replenish my reserve. So maybe this helped somebody today. Hopefully you go out and connect with somebody. Happy Labor Day weekend. Take care.